everyone loses Teen Wolf actors to the CW. That's what I've noticed. You all just kind of go that way.
I have no comment about that. There's nothing I can say that won't upset somebody.
No.
I loved my time on Teen Wolf, and I have a lot of love for Jeff and all of the cast. Not yet.
You're right.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back and do a cameo if I have time. Which I would actually really love to do that, but I don't know if it'll fit scheduling wise. But I had an amazing time on Teen Wolf, and I'm still friends with a lot of the cast, and Jeff is incredible.
I just saw Dylan and Lyndon and Jeff.
Are they still in there?
I did an autograph thing, and so like it was going over to 5, and I had to.
Damn it! I saw him very briefly. We crossed paths between panels, and love Jeff. Love him so much.
So, how does it feel to play A, Mary Queen of Scots, and B, did you do a lot of research in advance, or?
Yeah, I absolutely did. There's a lot of responsibility that comes along with playing such a prominent historical figure. So I did my research. At the same time, we are taking more of a fantastical sort of historical fiction bent on her story, you know, to make it more dramatic and to make it more fitting for our network and for what we want to do with it, and, you know, the sort of modern bent we've put on it. I did a ton of research on her and on her life and on her personality, what she was like. A lot of it's secondhand reports, but I did a lot of research because I do feel a certain amount of responsibility. The character I've created is sort of a blend of the character they wrote for me, you know, Laurie and the writer's vision, of what literature I read on her as a person, as a woman. She's a very interesting woman. And then my own take on the character, and putting a little bit of myself in there as well. Otherwise, it's not real. It's not honest unless you give a little bit of your soul to it. In my opinion, that's how I feel about acting in characters. Like, unless you give it a piece of yourself, it won't live. But yeah, so hopefully people like it. You know, wait until you see episodes 2 and 3. It changes quite a lot stylistically speaking because we have the new sets. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Like, sets are amazing, and our hair and makeup are incredible, and wardrobe is unbelievable. So it gets better. If you like the pilot, the rest of the show gets even better and even prettier and even more dramatic and fun and crazy. It'll be good.
So you came off of The Purge playing a very typical American teenager, and now you move into this show playing a very atypical British teenager, which is more challenging, which is more fun.
The Purge and Reign are very, very different. The Purge went through quite a few revisions and was quite a different movie when it came out than the original script that I read. So what we shot also didn't necessarily end up hitting the screen. My role was edited down and was sort of smoothed out a little bit. She was not very likable, which I kind of liked. I don't like characters that are all likable and sunny and shiny and, you know, one-dimensional, but I feel like that's sort of how it turned out a little bit. But it was a cool film. It was really fun to do. It was a pleasure to work with Ethan and with Lena. Are incredible. I got to work with my friend Reese, who I've known for a very long time, which was great. And, you know, the film did really well, and I was really glad that people liked it. You know, I quite liked it. My mom couldn't watch it, though. She was too scared. But I think in a lot of ways, Mary is typically teenage. She goes through the same things, just because the time period is different. I think what transcends time barriers is the emotion, it's the feelings, it's the struggle that you go through, it's the fights with friends, it's the betrayal, it's the heartache, it's the, you know, doing the right thing despite what you want. Admittedly, her responsibilities are a little more intense than, you know, studying for your SATs, but it's the same thing. It's unrequited love and lust, and I think that that's really relatable no matter what time period you come from, whether it's like the 1200s, or the 1500s, or the 1800s, or the 2000s, or, you know, 3005. I think that human emotion and human interaction will always be relatable no matter what time period.
Can you talk about your relationship with the ladies in waiting? Because they are her best friends, but she hasn't seen them
in a very long time.
Yeah, so...
I sort of built up a little backstory in my own mind about that while she's been in the convent, they've been writing back and forth, they've had a correspondence for all these years. At their core, they're the same girls she once knew when she was young. But at the same time, now that they've grown into themselves as young women and they're starting to take on adult responsibilities, the relationship shifts. They can't be friends like they were when they were children anymore. She has to assume a role of ultimate power in a way. And they cannot be her equals in this. They cannot begin to relate or understand, and she can no longer relate or understand to their position either. She is responsible for them, and at the same time, if it will further her country or her country's political standing, she will have to use them. If it's marrying them off to some horrible, abusive old lord for lands or political clout or for trade agreements, she might have to do it. If it means sacrificing one of them to save another one because they're wealthier or because their family is more politically allied with another house or whatever, she'll have to do that as well. Unfortunately, they're not only her friends, but they're also pawns that she may have to use.
Right, a frivolous question. There's this TV show, or British TV show I loved in 2007 called Supersizers, where they relive every single period in British history. So they go to the Edwardian period, and, the Renaissance, and for a week, did they have you just relive that period, force you to eat the foods of that period, force you to only use pretties, or no?
No, they didn't do that. Any research I did myself. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to use 16th century sanitation, that's for sure. Those guys bathed like once a week and didn't have toilets. Or toothpaste. Or like fruit, I don't know. Everything was seasonal and their methods of preserving weren't exactly, Yeah, very glad they didn't make me do that because I'm a real stickler for personal hygiene.
Alright,
so,
thanks guys.
Thank you.
So much.
I can't wait to see what else you wear because the dresses you wore in the pile.
Oh girl, you're in for a treat. You got like Queen, Jay Mendel.
You're in for a treat. Gonna wear them.
Quick picture, real quick.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Sorry.
How you doing? How are you?
So in the premiere, you two start in totally different places. We're at the season finale, you're both in love, and oh my gosh, I'm going to find you!
Yes.
And now you're a totally different person, and you're still at that point. Are we going to see a point in this series where it's just going to go negative or turn in a different way, where she finally realizes this is not the Vincent I know?
Very possible that will occur at some point. If Vincent continues on the trajectory he's going on, there will be a point at which Catherine has to, there are lines that he could cross that would make her stop believing in him. For sure.
And he does cross a few lines, for sure.
He's very questionable this season.
I mean, he actually killed someone when it was accidental before, so.
Right, now it is
Absolutely.
murder. Yeah.
And, I guess for Vincent, he makes it be okay for him because he's on his mission and he is cleaning up the mess of his makers. So, in reality, he's killing other beasts, not humans.
Well, and those beasts, too, if we took Vincent's view, are destructive. They're enacting violence, generally, towards others. So,
innocent people.
So some people may believe that is justice. I think he has a mission that is just in his mind.
Yeah. And it brings up a great debate between Catherine and Vincent. They challenge each other on what is right and what is wrong.
And they have that's what starts to get pretty interesting about this season, though, is that Catherine comes from a more traditional, I guess, moral, justice, law viewpoint, and Vincent comes more from
an eye for an eye.
Well, and if the law is not succeeding, then somebody must. Mm-hmm. Then it's not okay that these people are allowed to do these things. I have the power to take care of it.
Kristen, you spent many years, obviously, on Smallville.
I did.
And you, largely, a lot of times, were the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
This show, you kick ass.
I do.
Plain and simple. Even though you have somebody who can protect you, but you kick a lot of ass. So was that part of the attraction of the show for you?
Yes, very much so. Yeah. I am kind of, even if Catherine obviously can't do what Vincent can do, so sometimes he has to, save her.
Right.
But I love that she is capable and she doesn't expect somebody to be there, and that she can go into a situation and really handle herself. She's I love that. It was very important to me.
And Jay, are you happy you don't have to dress up like a giant cat every
Yeah, I am. We've even reformed the makeup from what it was last season. Because last season it was 8 prosthetic pieces and it went right over the body, took hours. And they never really liked to shoot it. And I was always like, look, it takes 4 hours to put this thing on. You don't even shoot it. Let's redesign this beast, write it into the season. So Brad Kern really took the bull by the horns and, rewired Vincent as such. So now we have a beast which is very more streamlined. And, in the series, you can't tell if it's Vincent or it's the beast sometimes. So he's a bit more dangerous. You're not sure where he lies.
I can attest from my wife that you've become sort of a heartthrob on television. Do you get recognized on the street and or chased down the street a lot by your fans?
I haven't really experienced that much because we're in Toronto. Everyone's so polite. They're Canadians.
Right. Yeah.
It's true.
But which I really love. But every time I seem to go through the airport to travel, the customs woman
Really?
wants to check my bags.
That's because you look sketchy, not because you're hot.
He just takes a nicer approach. It's like, really, because I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. But I look like I'm smuggling something.
Or are you like, check my bag?
I just sort of think they watch the show.
Yeah. I'd like to check your
I
bags.
like to check your bags. But I guess a lot of the sort of fan reaction we see is through Twitter these days. So that can get quite heated, and
They are passionate.
Then they've got the fan fiction, which is quite saucy and erotic.
Do you know this firsthand?
No, I've only read a couple of pieces.
Just one more question.
Sure. So I noticed also this season you guys are coming together with your antagonist of last season where it's just, well, I'm going to prison you, and I'm going to dissect you. But now, can a leopard really change his spot, so to speak? And
That is the question. The answer is we don't know fully. I mean, he's trying to show that he's different. But
And he definitely tries to change his spots, but is it possible? We don't know.
we don't know yet. We literally don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Y'all have shot like 8 episodes or so? How much?
We're on our 8th right
We're
now.
on our 8th
So
right
what
now.
would you say, what can people expect for the rest?
Well, the 8th episode is our winter finale.
Yeah.
So this is all a build up to that point. And episode 8, I really enjoyed reading it. It'll be very intense, and it'll be very clear what's going on with Vincent and Catherine by the end of that episode.
Yeah, 1 to 8 is a full arc in itself,
Yeah.
so they can expect some sort of conclusion by episode 8.
Which will open up a whole new trajectory.
Unravel the next lot.
All right.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Do you guys have a second for a quick photo?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll see if I can do one at a time so that I can...
Yeah, do you want me to take it?
If you'd like, that'd be great.
I can take it too.
Okay, that'd be fantastic. You have to switch the thing inside of that.
Switch
There
the
you go.
thingy, Jay.
Switch the thingy.
Here we go. Very nice.
Yes, they are. Thank you. They're twins.
They're on this side.
Well, let's just have one, all 3 of us.
Okay.
Here.
That's fine. If I get my arm around Kristen again, I'm not going to complain. And you too.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, man.
Great meeting you.